Viewers, welcome back to the PI Show. Before we went to the break, we were having this heated discussion between Nadia and John about the role of surveillance and whether they should investigate, hand over tapes, not hand over tapes, show video, not show video. It's very fascinating, guys. Zato.
And very damaging too.
Let me go to Zato. What happened with Zato was that the insurance company and the defendant lawyers had engaged a private investigator to take some footage of this bloke. He was actually working, but he told everyone he wasn't working. So what happened was the insurance company lawyers hadn't viewed the video, and they settled this case for $425,000 plus legal costs. Before he got a chance to get his hands on the money, the insurance company got their hands on this surveillance, and they saw it and they said, "Hey, hold it, what's going on here?" So they took proceedings in court to actually stop him from getting the money. They turned over the judgment.
The money was taken back on the basis of the misrepresentation.
I don't think he ever got the money, John.
All right.
Yeah, but the funny thing about it was the lawyers forgot to tell the surveillance bloke that the case had settled, so he kept following him, and he found him working, which is fascinating, isn't it?
Tony, at the end of the day, it sounds like the plaintiff or the person bringing the claim, I mean, it was his fault.
He's doing the wrong thing.
You know,
he's doing the wrong thing.
Let's be
on
realistic.
cases like that, I've got no sympathy.
No, that's it.
Neither do I.
Viewers, let's be firm on this. If you're out and out fraud, no one's got any sympathy for you. Forget about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're only interested in people that have got serious injuries, third income injuries, and they want to be properly compensated.
Exactly.
John, the law in Victoria, what's it say?
State of Victoria and Davies, Tony, 2003, Court of Appeal decision in the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal. It's not good for workers. Basically, it says that work cover can show video surveillance prior to a hearing without exchanging it with the plaintiffs, the workers' lawyers.
And Nadia, that causes problems, doesn't it? Because
it does cause problems because they probably have 40 or 50 hours of footage, and they're probably, and it could be supporting the plaintiff's case or the injured worker's case, and yet they're not going to hand that over, or they don't have to hand that over.
I say you've changed your stance.
No, I haven't changed my stance. I'm just saying what the situation could be.
Can I just say this, just to so that you can a bit of a spin on it. Yeah. Many years ago, I represented a plaintiff that tried to play AFL footy, and he had a back injury. Now, they gave us the video, which meant that we could show it to the plaintiff. Now, when he saw it, he put it in a context. He basically said, "I tried to play once, I didn't touch the ball once, I got off the ground, I couldn't walk for a week, and I was on medication and I had to rest."
But see, how do you prove that if you don't put more surveillance on that person?
So what he did was he gave evidence to that effect, and the judge liked him, and he won his case. So the insurance company and defendant lawyers lost the element of surprise.
And that's what we say, that there shouldn't be, in this day of age, this ambush tactics. That shouldn't occur anymore in the
I don't know if it's an ambush tactic. I think it's a good thing that insurance companies need to put surveillance on.
But Nadia, we have to exchange medical reports, every document that we rely upon.
But I guess the surveillance,
we have to exchange that before the court hearing. Apart from the defendant video surveillance. What's that?
John, well, I know you're passionate about it, but let's not...
what's that? It's just
Well,
crazy.
it's their right. They don't have to hand it over.
Nadia, look, I take John's point on this for the simple fact that if we have to exchange all the reports, you have to exchange everything you rely on in court, you've got to put it in a court book, why shouldn't you just hand over all the tapes and put it in a context?
Well, it's about developing your case. I agree, but at the same time, you know, you don't have to disclose all your medical reports.
But
well, no,
can I just say this? Notwithstanding the fact that they're following your clients and they're taking video surveillance, they've still got to comply with certain rules and regulations. A private investigator, viewers, has got to go to the local police station and say, "Look, I'm watching house number 132, blah, blah, blah."
Tony, they don't do that.
They've got to, John.
I have clients ringing me up saying, "There's a guy in a car sitting outside my house, and what do I do? He's been following me around for a day."
Tell him what he should do, Nadia. Explain to him what should be done.
What the lawyer should tell a client? Well, just, I don't know.
Just ring up the police and
I've
see
told
if they've
them,
checked in.
Ring up the police.
Look, sometimes we all know that surveillance can be a little bit invasive, and that's a little bit unfair to the client. But at the same time, what else does the insurance company, apart from your medical reports, I mean, that's the way they can find out if the client is really injured
as long
or
as they
not.
exchange it, no problem. They're not exchanging this evidence, which I say is crucial evidence.
Look, can I just on that issue there, viewers? I don't think the insurance companies have a lot of ammunition, Nadia, because at the end of the day, if a client's consistent in the way he presents, a plaintiff presents the same to all the doctors, and they don't have that weapon, which is surveillance, you say that a few people are going to slip through the net. They shouldn't get compensation.
Perhaps so.
Okay, okay. Can I go to another case, John?
Klein and Bryant.
Okay, tell me about Klein and Bryant.
Klein
What
and
happened?
Bryant, video surveillance of the worker, but it was on the worker's property, Tony. Unlawful entry.
So the surveillance person actually entered onto the property.
Exactly.
So we're breaking sort of other laws here.
Well, there's unlawful entry. No one knows.
right.
Isn't there a balancing act between public policy of looking after your privacy and also preventing people being fraudulent?
Look, there
The
is.
judge had to weigh that up, didn't he?
There is, and under the Evidence Act in the ACT, this was a 1998 case, Tony, the court found that, look, this evidence could not be admitted in this case because of the fact of this unlawful entry onto
It was a balancing act, John. The judge had to
case,
consider
yes.
public policy and also...
I'd have to agree, in circumstances such as that, or those, well, that shouldn't be admitted as evidence.
No?
Well, if the person entered onto his property, I mean, that's a real invasion
I
of
don't know
privacy.
much about the Criminal Act, the Crimes Act in Victoria, but my understanding is that in some instances judges will validate warrants to search, even if it wasn't properly obtained.
after the fact.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
so
think
this is a
that's
bit
correct.
similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they discover
It can
evidence
be,
that is very damning,
It can be.
and they haven't complied with, you know, the
But
law
at the
in
same
general.
time, surveillance to a certain degree is great, and I really do support it. But when it is, and it can be an invasion of someone's personal space and privacy, at the end of the day, they're just trying to find out if they're injured or not.
Well, the problem
And
is
this
when they
is-
step over the line, when
That's
these investigators
right.
step over the line, when,
I don't like
for
that.
example, they go into the casino in breach of the
Well,
Crown Casino Act
that's
and take
breaking-
video
Well, there's
surveillance.
a gaming
Breaking
act
gaming
that
laws.
means
Exactly.
that that's illegal.
Yeah.
You can have that
Exactly.
evidence excluded.
Well, you can, but unfortunately,
it should
sometimes
be.
when it's shown to a judge and jury,
No, you've got to make the objection before it's shown, John. You get up there, you stand up and you say,
Ideally,
Your Honour, I
ideally,
object.
I guess where it's
You
lawful,
take the jury out.
fine, I'm all for it. But
Yeah.
when it's not lawful, such as your gaming and such as your trespass or whatever,
Can I say-
I don't agree with that.
Nadia, what concerns me is a lot of people with physical injuries, and I'm sure this is the angle John takes, have got psychiatric injuries. I would have thought that if you're being followed, it makes you somewhat paranoid. Could it make your injury a lot worse, John?
If you know you are,
can aggravate. It will aggravate the problem.
Yeah.
if
make
you
it-
know you're being followed. If you don't know, well, then they're not going to know.
Look, this is a topic that we could talk forever and ever and ever and a day, but look, we're going to have to keep moving.
Viewers, we're going to a sponsors break. Please stay. After that, we've got Kathy's mailbag.
And also, Nadia, thank you for coming on
Thanks,
again. I really
Thanks,
appreciate
Nadia.
it.
Great topic. Thank you.